Paris Jackson is opening up with one of her most honest reflections yet, revealing that getting sober didn't magically erase life's struggles. Instead, she says the hardest emotional battles actually came after she stopped relying on drugs and alcohol. In a deeply personal message marking 6 years of sobriety, the singer, songwriter, and daughter of the late Michael Jackson shared that many people misunderstand what recovery really looks like. According to Paris, sobriety isn't proof that life suddenly becomes perfect. In fact, she admitted that after several years of being clean, she experienced a period that felt incredibly difficult, saying that for what seemed like an eternity, everything became very, very hard, and she no longer had the unhealthy survival skills she once used to cope. That confession immediately resonated with thousands of fans because it challenged one of the biggest misconceptions about addiction and recovery. Paris explained that before getting sober, substances had become her way of escaping emotional pain. Once those coping mechanisms were gone, she had to learn entirely new ways to deal with heartbreak, depression, anxiety, and the everyday challenges of life. Rather than running from those emotions, she had to face them head on. Her latest reflection comes after reaching an incredible milestone. In January, Paris celebrated 6 years free from drugs and alcohol, a journey she has repeatedly described as the decision that completely transformed her life. She previously wrote that because she's sober, she gets to smile, make music, love her pets, experience joy, grieve, laugh, dance, trust people again, and simply show up for life every single day. Those words became one of her most shared social media posts because they captured the complicated reality of recovery. It doesn't remove pain, but it allows someone to truly experience life instead of hiding from it. But Paris also made it clear that sobriety is not a finish line. She said there was a point where life became overwhelming, and because she no longer had drugs or alcohol to numb those feelings, she was forced to build healthier emotional tools from scratch. She admitted that during those difficult years, she often felt like she had lost the only survival skills she had ever known. It was an incredibly vulnerable statement because many people assume recovery only gets easier with time. Paris reminded everyone that healing isn't linear. For longtime followers of her story, this honesty isn't surprising. Paris has spent years speaking openly about the trauma she experienced growing up in one of the world's most famous families. After the death of her father, Michael Jackson, in 2009, she faced unimaginable public attention while still grieving as a child. Over the years, she has spoken about struggling with depression, anxiety, addiction, and multiple suicide attempts during her teenage years. She has also revealed that she began experimenting with drugs at a very young age, eventually developing serious substance abuse problems before deciding to turn her life around. Back in her landmark interviews over the years, Paris explained that addiction wasn't simply about partying. It became a way to escape emotional pain and unresolved trauma. She is described feeling lost, battling low self-esteem, and questioning her own worth. Looking back now, she says sobriety gave her something much greater than simply quitting drugs. It gave her a chance to rebuild her entire life. Her recent message also arrives during what has reportedly been an emotionally challenging year personally. Paris has been open about continuing to live with depression and prioritizing her mental health, even while remaining committed to sobriety. She has emphasized that staying sober doesn't mean every day is easy. Instead, it means choosing healthier ways to navigate life's darkest moments rather than returning to destructive habits. One part of her message especially struck fans. Paris essentially explained that the unhealthy coping mechanisms she once depended on were no longer available, leaving her to figure out healthier ways of surviving emotionally. That's something addiction experts often discuss, but hearing it from someone as recognizable as Paris Jackson made the reality of recovery feel incredibly personal and relatable. Public reaction was overwhelmingly supportive. Across social media, fans praised her courage for refusing to romanticize sobriety or present a picture-perfect version of recovery. Many people shared their own experiences, saying her honesty helped them feel less alone. Others thanked her for reminding people that healing is often messy and that struggling after getting sober doesn't mean someone has failed. Supporters also applauded Paris for consistently using her platform to reduce the stigma surrounding addiction and mental health. Instead of pretending everything is fine because she's reached 6 years sober, she chose to admit that there are still difficult days. That level of transparency earned admiration from fellow recovery advocates who said her message could encourage others to ask for help rather than suffering in silence. Despite those challenges, Paris continues to focus on her creative career. In recent years, she has balanced music, modeling, acting, and live performances while building an identity separate from the enormous legacy of her father. Although comparisons to Michael Jackson have followed her throughout her life, Paris has steadily carved out her own artistic path with deeply personal songwriting and alternative rock influences. Her willingness to discuss mental health has become one of the defining aspects of her public image. Rather than avoiding painful topics, she frequently speaks about therapy, emotional healing, self-reflection, and the importance of finding healthy support systems. Those conversations have helped many fans see her not simply as Michael Jackson's daughter, but as someone determined to use her experiences to help others. Another reason her story continues to resonate is because it highlights an important truth. Recovery isn't about becoming perfect. It's about continuing to move forward, even when life becomes incredibly difficult. Paris's message wasn't one of hopelessness, it was one of resilience. She acknowledged the pain without letting it define her. Even after admitting that there were periods when life felt unbearably hard, she also reminded everyone that she stayed sober through it all. Looking back over the past 6 years, Paris has repeatedly said sobriety gave her something priceless. She didn't just quit drugs and alcohol, she gained the opportunity to experience real relationships, genuine emotions, creative fulfillment, and personal growth. While heartbreak, grief, anxiety, and depression haven't disappeared completely, she now faces them with healthier coping mechanisms instead of substances. That perspective has inspired countless fans who see recovery as an ongoing commitment rather than a destination. Her message serves as a reminder that strength isn't measured by never struggling, it's measured by continuing to choose healing, even when old habits seem easier. For someone who once believed she might never escape addiction, Paris Jackson's journey stands as a powerful example of perseverance. She isn't claiming to have all the answers, and she isn't pretending every day is perfect. Instead, she's showing that it's possible to survive the darkest chapters, rebuild your life one day at a time, and keep moving forward even when the road becomes incredibly difficult. As her story continues to inspire conversations about addiction, mental health, and resilience, many fans are hoping her honesty encourages others to seek help before it's too late. Recovery may not erase pain, but Paris Jackson's latest reflection proves that facing life with clarity, hope, and courage can ultimately be far more rewarding than hiding from it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.